Jumok discreetly positioned the hidden cameras, ensuring they captured vital areas of the home, particularly the children's bedrooms and communal spaces. She prayed the footage would either confirm her suspicions or dispel her fears. Each evening, she reviewed the recordings, her heart pounding with unease. One afternoon, arriving home earlier than usual, she felt compelled to check the footage. Her hands trembled as she opened the app linked to the cameras. Scrolling through the recordings, she fast-forwarded until something unusual caught her attention. Her breath hitched as she watched Benga entering Skola's room. Her sister was already inside. At first, the interaction seemed harmless, but soon they moved closer, their bodies brushing together. They began to undress. Jumok froze, her eyes locked on the screen as her world fell apart. The man she trusted, the father of her children, was engaging in an affair with her sister. Tears streamed uncontrollably down her face, her entire body shaking with anguish and fury. But the ordeal didn't end there. She switched to another camera angle, revealing her children standing outside Skola's room, peering through the slightly ajar door. The curiosity etched on their innocent faces made her stomach churn. The next scene broke her completely. Later, in their room, the twins replicated what they'd observed. They lay together, removing their clothes, mimicking the sounds they must have overheard from their aunt and father. Jumok's heart raced. Her children weren't inherently at fault, they were merely imitating what they had witnessed, without grasping the weight of their actions. It wasn't their wrongdoing. It was the ultimate betrayal of the two adults she had most relied upon. The following morning, Jumok sat motionless on the living room couch, her complexion pale and her eyes red from a sleepless night of crying. Skola descended the stairs and greeted her, but Jumok didn't respond. "Sister, are you all right?" Skola asked, her voice laced with concern. Jumok slowly turned, her gaze cold. "Don't touch me," she retorted sharply. Before Skola could respond, Benga walked into the room, noticing the tension. "What's happening here?" he inquired. Jumok rose to her feet, her fists clenched. "I'll show you what's happening," she replied, her voice trembling with suppressed rage. She retrieved her phone, opened the camera app, and played the footage for them. Silence enveloped the room as they watched the horrifying scenes unfold. Skola and Benga stood motionless, their faces drained of color, their mouths agape. When the recording ended, Jumok turned to them, her eyes blazing with fury. "How could you?" she screamed at Skola. "I gave you everything, a roof over your head, food, trust, and this is how you repay me? By tearing apart my family?" Tears streamed down Skola's cheeks as she sank to her knees. "I'm so sorry, sister. Please, forgive me. I didn't mean for this to happen." Jumok's attention shifted to Benga, her voice rising further. "And you, my husband, the father of my children. How could you betray me like this? You've done the unforgivable." Benga attempted to respond, but she cut him off. "Don't you dare say a word." Without warning, she slapped him hard across the face. He staggered backward, clutching his cheek, speechless. No words could amend the damage. Her voice cracked as she shouted, "Pack your belongings, both of you, and leave my home. Immediately!" In the aftermath, Jumok began the painstaking process of rebuilding the shattered fragments of her life. She initiated divorce proceedings and severed all connections with Skola, resolving never to allow her back into her world. Her focus now centered entirely on her children, ensuring they received the care and attention they needed to recover from the trauma. Though the betrayal left deep wounds, Jumok resolved to rise above it and protect her children from further harm. Who do you believe bears the greatest responsibility for this devastating ordeal, Skola, for her disloyalty, or Benga, for violating his marital commitment? Share your thoughts below, and let's engage in the discussion. Jumok's journey after the betrayal wasn't easy. She sought therapy for her children, understanding the critical need to help them process what they had seen and experienced. The twins were confused and emotionally shaken, but through counseling, they began to understand the concept of boundaries and the importance of personal space. Jumok also attended sessions herself. The therapist provided her with tools to manage her anger, guilt, and grief, helping her rebuild her confidence and focus on her role as a mother. Slowly, she started finding strength within herself to face each day with renewed determination. In the weeks that followed, news of the incident spread among family and close friends. Some blamed Skola for betraying the sanctity of sisterhood, while others held Benga accountable for failing as a husband and father. Both individuals tried to justify their actions, but their excuses fell flat. Skola's attempts to reconcile with Jumok were met with firm resistance. "You've made your choice," Jumok told her during their final conversation. "Now live with it. I'll forgive you for my own peace, but I'll never allow you back into my life." Benga, too, tried to mend the situation, but Jumok's resolve was unshakable. "There's no room for betrayal in this marriage," she said, signing the divorce papers with a heavy heart. Her extended family, once a pillar of support, became divided. Some relatives urged her to reconsider and forgive Benga for the sake of the children. But Jumok knew better. Forgiveness didn't mean tolerance. She needed to create a safe and healthy environment for her kids, free from deceit and emotional manipulation. Over time, Jumok transformed her pain into a drive for independence. She expanded her fabric shop, turning it into a flourishing business. She joined a network of entrepreneurial women in Lagos, drawing strength from their stories of resilience. The success of her business became a testament to her determination to rise above adversity. As for the twins, Jumok made sure they were enrolled in extracurricular activities that promoted teamwork and emotional growth. They joined a children's drama club, where they learned to express themselves creatively. Their laughter slowly returned, and Jumok felt a glimmer of hope each time she heard it. Jumok's journey was a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. Betrayal may have shaken her to her core, but it didn't break her. Instead, it taught her the importance of boundaries, self-worth, and the strength it takes to walk away from toxic relationships. Who do you think deserves a second chance, if anyone? Should Jumok have forgiven Skola or Benga, or was she right to cut them out completely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this story if it resonated with you. As time passed, Jumok's life began to stabilize, though the scars from her experience lingered. The twins grew older, and their understanding of the events deepened. Jumok ensured they continued therapy sessions to help them process their emotions and rebuild their sense of trust in family relationships. The fabric shop became a symbol of her resilience. Jumok poured her energy into its growth, creating a haven not just for herself, but for other women in similar situations. She started a mentorship program for single mothers, offering them employment opportunities and skills training. It wasn't just a business anymore, it became a community of empowerment and support. Skola tried to reach out again, this time through their mother. She sent heartfelt letters begging for forgiveness and pleading for a chance to reconcile. Jumok read each letter but chose not to respond. Forgiveness had been granted in her heart for her own peace, but reconciliation was a boundary she was unwilling to cross. Benga, now living separately, also tried to maintain contact with the children. Jumok allowed it under strict conditions, ensuring the visits were supervised and limited. She wanted the twins to have a relationship with their father, but her trust in him was irreparably broken. Over time, Benga faded further from their lives as his efforts became inconsistent. One pivotal day, Jumok was invited to speak at a women's empowerment conference in Lagos. Her story of survival and resilience had reached far beyond her local community. As she stood on the stage, looking out at an audience of hundreds, she shared her journey, not as a victim, but as a victor who turned pain into purpose. "My experiences taught me that we are stronger than the circumstances we face," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "Betrayal can break you if you let it, but it can also be the fire that refines you. I chose the latter, not just for me, but for my children. They deserved a mother who stood tall, no matter how hard life tried to bring her down." The audience erupted into applause, and afterward, many women came up to thank her, sharing their own stories of struggle and resilience. Jumok felt a profound sense of purpose. Her pain had transformed into something meaningful, touching the lives of others who needed hope and encouragement. Years later, Jumok reflected on how far she had come. The twins were now teenagers, thriving in school and extracurricular activities. They often told her how proud they were of her strength and dedication. "You're the strongest person we know, Mom," Bola said one evening as they sat together. "You've shown us what it means to never give up, no matter what." Bomi nodded in agreement. "We love you so much." Tears welled in Jumok's eyes as she hugged her children tightly. They were her greatest source of strength, and she vowed to keep building a life where they could flourish without fear or pain. Jumok's story became a beacon of hope for many. It was a testament to the fact that even in the face of betrayal and heartbreak, one can rise, rebuild, and find joy again. Her journey was proof that while forgiveness is a choice, self-respect and boundaries are necessities for true healing. What do you think Jumok's greatest strength was? Her ability to forgive? Her resilience? Or her determination to protect her children? Share your thoughts below, and let's celebrate stories of courage and growth together.